What's up, my epic Blackbird preset user? It is the time now. I will share with you the tuning that I work for some time for Betaflight. I know that I've been teasing for a long time, but the fact is that before just finish it for myself, it was more a pain in the ass to make it like fly on any part of the world, because close to the sea will absolutely not fly same with the value than my place, because I'm 1000 meter, 1000 meter. And now I've used it with like some super nice pilot and testing for years. There's Fauve, there's Jacuzzi J, there is also Casti FPV, Alexander FPV, and some other that have great skills and show that this kind of way of overtuning work better for what we want as juicer, spanger, etc. So there it is. We're gonna go into the PID. So I wanted at the beginning to put it in the Betaflight GUI, but after talking with one of the dev or one of the person that do thing with them, they literally said that it is too specific to be put in the GUI, because for them there's something that they think it's placebo and I should better change my mind to make it something more. And there's plenty of super great normal tuning on Betaflight GUI, and what I want to do is that, you know, I'm a guy that flew Falco X a lot. Whatever the issues we got with them, the scam and all the thing, the fact is that Falco X or Kiss Ultra doesn't use SC smoothing at all. The way it work is more predictive to do the kind of flying I do, or the kind of super crazy bang and shit and that. And the fact is that when you do this kind of movement, this kind of style, what is the most important is that your quad is first reactive, yeah, and also that it holds super tight and very strongly everything. So there is something in the GUI that would maybe look weird to you, but you don't need to think about it. You just need to copy by hand everything. I will just share some little difference when it is one or the other gyro. You just copy everything. Okay, let's go. I'm gonna explain my visualization of what is of how I do it. So first, PID. When you want to do like bang shit, you need to have generally like the high P, low D, high D protocol of PID. The PID you have here, they need not to be changed. The only thing you can try is that if you're really close to the sea, so at 0, 100 meters, you can just lower the P term, all the P term and all the D term, so the D max and the D, don't need to have like D max and D low like separate, it need to stay the same, okay? You just use this value and you lower by 3, so 63 becomes 66 becomes 63 and the 37 become 34, okay? So you just copy this. The feed forward need to not change. About the feed forward settings, I've been told by the Betaflight dev that if I put a tuning inside Betaflight GUI, oh wait a second, because just we check if everything worked great, amazing. Let's go back. The setting you have on the right, so the feed forward controller PID, the feed forward control, so the jittering reduction and shit. This need to be generally changed by the air link you will use, like 150 Hz or 500 Hz. In fact, it is true, but we want to do an LC quad that follow the exact perfect thing to have the cleanest like line, I'm gonna say, is more about make it the stiffest enough. So all the value you have here, even if you say me you don't like jitter reduction, you prefer, you just don't change everything, because it's all the package together. Imagine like a Falco X, for example. There's a lot of things that is common Falco X and Betaflight, to be honest, because Betaflight was the very beginning of everything, so you understand. And there's generally the same thing that you will go in Falco X. The only thing is that we try for years to find the more all-around value that, I mean, the lowest generally value that you have before issues. So maybe in your black box you will see a little bit of noise and shit, but in reality it feels stronger, it feels more locked, it feels better, okay? So you just copy everything here. Now, trust linearization. Another thing that the developers said to me that they want to put it in on the GUI. What is trust linearization? Oh, wait a second. All good. What it does, it will change the way the throttle, so the throttle work at low throttle, I mean. It will change to make it more linear, so it will hold better, right? But the thing is that they say to me that I should not feel a difference between 1% and 10%. A dude that fly a drone with great level will say you that there's a lot of difference, and why I would like to have only 1% and not even 2 or 3. How it works is that it will locked up the low throttle. So if you have a value 20 or shit, you can try, you put 30, it will be super locked, but then you lose reactivity, the movement feels weird, and you lose a lot of power at the low throttle. Because as it make it everything more linear, you lose definition in your stick, and you feel it that all this is all together in a bad way. Why 1% is that this is the lowest value that I can put that will make the low throttle, if I do like this or movement like this, it will help the drone to hold and not make shit like this, you understand? But in the same way, I will not lose too much control over my low throttle and then definition. Because if you want, if you want to do an effect, imagine you go there and want to do a very little effect with very bit of input, the more trust linearization you have, the less you're gonna have definition to do this kind of super little movement. You lose it. It's like you have without trust, you have this of definition, so you can make little appointment and shit, and if you use a lot, you just lose it, okay? It's more locked, but you lose it. This is why 1%. Now, TPA. Stock TPA become at 1350. When you do bang and shit, you generally stay between 0 to 60% throttle, approximately, and then higher is to launch the quad, okay? Because even if when we do you see this kind of super strong we don't go always at a very low throttle, we keep 5% and it holds the quad better. So what it does is that when you use when you use this value, it will mean that the PID will not change until you go, so your remote is from 1000 to 2000. It means that with this at 1650, so a bit up the middle, and under this it will not change the PID. So when you you know enough that have your PID that messed up and create shit. So it is super important, okay? I'm just very little explanation. The regulation deterring mean that when you do a line, it tends to help you to not have some crazy shit and this and that. Why we put 9, even we use 150 of air sealing, because 150 work better to do bang. It just easier to do everything. It's better to have a low air sealing value and super strong quad, super crazy, super reactivity and shit. So we use this because it tends to make the movement themselves when you and do effect, it just look better. Same for the smoothing this. The boost, it will just up a bit the way then the quad launch the movement, a bit like a PT I'm gonna say, but it's not exactly the same. 20 is good. The limit hold rate, this I don't know the word in English, I'm sorry, but you can see the value at normally I think is 85 stock. What it does is that it will use the max speed of your rate at 85%. I prefer 95. Why not 100? Is that as Betaflight have a tend to can't hold the very insane shit very sharp with an high tune, it will prevent a bit at the very end it will smooth out a tiny bit the hand of your input instead at the 100% where all is super, you understand. So I put 95 because it tends to be a bit more clean, okay? Now, the rate, we don't care about the rate. The filtering. Filtering is everything that make the feeling of your drone. If I would do a very basic explanation, because we don't need to understand that this kind of filtering, blah, 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 we don't care about this. This is just like you need to imagine that you have some value and some technology that let you have more performance or more smoothness, or more dynamic that will be able to change everything where there's a problem, or more static when all will be more predictive and understand. So first filtering, the PT1 at 300. I'm sorry, I think it's 100, 8000 is 1000. I don't always remember. Anyway, why I'm using like a static filter is, so this is the value for an ICM. ICM Gyro is ICM 42688 or ICM 206202. These two ICM. You need 300 because this kind of filtering does not have the same, not need the same value. An APU key is, I can explain, like already filtered like inside. So you will need another value. This value is need to be changed from ICM to MPU6K. If you have any ICM 300 and even the BMI, normally I don't use BMI with this tune. It's MPU6K at the worst, ICM at the best. And the gummies, just to be sure, if you know what is a Falcois gummy or the Rush strong gummy for an ICM, you need to have these gummies, the strong one, without the nuts on the top. It's making a huge difference. Whatever people that say that is placebo, just go on another video. Okay. So 300 is for ICM gyro, and if you have an MPU here, just change to 500. It will just make the gap that lets you that it's not like make vibration and shit. Why I stay at a low value like this? When you use your filtering or the air smoothing or anything, there's kind of good, there's like the good stiff and the bad stiff. The bad stiff is with everything all together, everything feel a bit locked in this, but when you move, the PID is too low, the this and that, and then you have some kind of, it's the false stiffness that make that is just so over filtered that the quad that the quad feels stiff, but it is not. When we want to do like bang, it's all there's a thread to have this kind of feeling. I know that I can use higher values for some shit, but the static at 300 or 500 will make like a stiff feeling that will just hold everything together. It will just feel better, okay? If you have a basic quad that have not super nice setup and shit, you will lose something but gain something. You just click on this, like this, so you don't change anything. You will lose a bit of the productivity because there's another dynamic, so it will change something and that. And you will lose reactivity. That's true, because dynamic need to think better, I don't know. You just will lose a bit on the, when you do like some left-right, for example, you will feel that there's a bit less reactive, but then your movement gonna look a bit better and you will less issues. Personally, static 200 is the best. Filter RPM. So everyone know the RPM. You can use like one, but the problem is that we tried with Alexandre FPV, my good friend, almost everything in the test that we do some video recording of different tricks with different value and this to see if it's look better, because the tuning, if it's super strong and super tight, even your GoPro footage will look better because it will be more in line, you know. This is why you look like the video of myself, or even better, you know, the Myers and shit. It's so locked that it looks like I have hyper smooth shit. But it's because I'm carrying with my thumb to be precise, but the drone go fucking at 100%. Okay, so the RPM, we just found out one feel better because it's more sharp, but then we have tendency to not be in the axis. Sometimes we are this, and we find that two, you literally are almost always in the axis. You can't always explain why, but that's a fact. We tried, I have all the footage, and it feels better like this. The last one, we try at the beginning like this, because again, less filtering, more performance, okay? The less you have filtering the technology and the high value, the more the drone will feel crazy. But there's a trade. If it's too crazy, it's gonna be too sensitive, and then you will need to be super sensitive with drone. Your drone gonna broke on something. You're gonna go on fire. It's exaggerate, but you can almost not come back with the band props. This is the best value. And what I mean is that we found out that just adding the stock value like this, the drone first hold better the direction, and it gives the great, like, I mean, it's like better. We found out that the best is not 3 RPM, is remove one and put only one here. Best feeling. Okay. Now the D10 filtering. D10 filtering, you can imagine that the value is like a spring. So the more higher the value, the more strong is the spring on a car. So the spring, you understand? And the technology you use is like the tire. D-quad filtering is like the suspension, like it's fucking English. What it does, if you have a car and the car are super soft spring, it will like, you see what I mean? The connection to the ground and all, it will stop the movement and shit, it will feel sluggish. It's the same for the D10 filtering. The higher the value, the more stiff the spring, so it will feel more like, you know, more locked in this. But if you go too high and you doesn't have enough filtering, then you will bounce back, because it will, understand? This is what happened when you hear us doing with Falco X. Exactly that. It's because it's at the fucking limit, and even it just does this great bad sound, it feels better. The value is something I can explain about that. The technology you use, you can imagine PT1 is a tire that is like this, the B quad is like this, the PT2 is like this, PT3 is like this. The more the kind of line you will use, it feel like you will lose some reactivity, but it's all the fucking direction a lot better. When you turn, you feel that you don't need to do to correct in shit. It just fucking old, and this is why I use B quad. The guy from Betaflight said me that it is an old technology, long time ago, and that it's just placebo shit. You know, you can have the same feeling when it is false. It is completely false. And I hope that when you will try this and it will work crazy, you will comment to show me that I am true about that, and that it fly just better. It's just the way. Again, if you prefer to fly more like a skate feeling, like maybe a Mr. style that does like super, you understand, with the more OG style, when not everything is perfect, like a simulator and shit, it will not feel good, because you will feel too resistance. But for kind of style, when you see it do like and it stop like this, like fucking hell, it's because of this kind of tuning. Okay. Next, the deadband, super repentant. If you want to use like some crazy, like Marius rate, Marius is crazy kind of rate, or the Casti crazy one, or I don't know. The fact that the difference we use for RC for this bang is that we use higher RC rate, low rate. It means that when you do a movement, it will kick the control a lot faster. So all the tricks and shit, and after that you want to do projection, you go a bit, on the, because if you have like this old kind of rate, when you need to use all the area of the stick, you can do a crazy combo, like we are not fucking Cyborg, so we just put a lot more RC rate than rate, then all the movement kick in, and then it is super fucking sensitive. So the even little correction you do, it will, like, you will see another trick. So what we do this to be sure, it's not maybe on the combo, but more with this kind of weight when you want to do like a projection and stop super hard. When you just go on the end of the end point of the, you understand, tack, to know your direction, because this is what we do. generally the pilot that do like something like tack, and you have this perfect inverted U. You just tack and just wait a sec. I don't have you. Whatever. Sorry. You just use the end of your stick to know. So you can go in a lift-off simulator, whatever, and you try to lower and higher your speed until you tack, and then when you just go on the very end, it's perfectly flat. This is the trick. And for this we need deadband, because when you do you not like you will not like stop your movement super sharply, okay? So you need the little deadband to be sure that you will not share movement that you don't want to share. Mean correction. Next, the minimum throttle. So now don't ever use dynamic idle when you do bang and GC, because it will just make your drone the less predictive possible. You need static. You just know everything that happened. There's not something that changed until you. If you again want to do racing thing or more bando with no tricks, it will maybe feel better. But for us that need to tack and stop some super harsh way, it need to be predictive. So the less dynamic thing, the better. Stock is 5.5 is too much, because it will just a bit make it like you and you doesn't fall. And this 5.4 is the best for me. And you see, if you have big props like I don't know, like 5.1 something, you can lower to find 4.3 maybe. But this is the best value. Okay. Now the last things I think when you're using Betaflight stock, you have something that is called pit sum limit. What is pit sum limit? The stock value is like 450. It means that the PID for roll and pitch is at 45% at the power. If you only want to have the crazy strong shit bang nina, you need to put at 100%. So you put 1000, tack, and you save. Okay. Next one, you have one for the yaw. The yaw in Falco X have some technology that I don't know, make it more into the it is less sensitive and more pair with the axis to make your move easier to do. With Betaflight, the U is full power. So I will advise you to put 900, so 90%, because it will prevent a little vibration and shit. Okay, save. Just wait, I no need to save any time. Now, the smoothing. So the stock value is 30. What smoothing does, when you send an information into your drones, there's some false data that can be put into the line and you will see it at this. I mean that some correction, something that should not happen. The rest smoothing is the worst thing that you can use to do the GC and the way of flying when you need to stop, when you need to have a super high-end control. Same for the race, they don't use smoothing. For this kind of part, I will use 5, because with 0, we found out that the feeling is just weird. I would like to use no smoothing at all, but whatever we try, it just always feels weird. When 5 is not much a difference, you don't feel it. It's just more that it all that bit to or everything together. Now you have the smoothing of the throttles. The smoothing throttle has been added, I think, on 4.3, and this is why the racers tend to say that after 4.2 there's something that make the drone less manipulated. You understand? There's something that make the power go down, and also that tend to make the control less perfect. The stock value is 30. I will advise you to not change it. Why? Because if you don't have the most like fucking insane quad ever with the best frame, and I'm not gonna there's something that needs to be said. There's good frame. The thing that my $50 frame, blah blah blah. Yes, you can have a $50 frame without issues, but it will vibrate, it can break, and it is always about the vibration. If you have like, if you compare like an Apex, for example, that you build it really great, and a cheap quad, a cheap frame, there's an insane difference. And the 30 value, I will advise you to keep stock. So like this, you put 30. You can try maybe to 20, but don't go down from 30. 30 and 5 is the best for the all-around. When I will get out my FC with my stack, there is some more specific thing that to go in more performance, but this one should work on anything. Okay, so 30 is great. You save. And I think I've done everything. Yes, so there it is. Just show you a bit last time, maybe if you want to take a picture like this and like this. As you know, I've done this kind of preset like in FalcoX, like in Kiss for a long time, and it has always been free because I want to share my good energy and the passion I have for this kind of thing. Fuck off. You know what we done with this kind of shit? Like, it is crazy. I want to share it, and I don't want to make money on this one. Even for all these years, the brand like FalcoX made a lot of fucking money with this thing. Anyway, so this tuning will be free. You can use it whatever you want. Again, remember, it's for sbang shit and this and that. Don't use it to go like working on cinematic when there is humidity. I'm not sure it's gonna work. This is for like crazy banger and this and that. And I want to say that now I'm at the very end of the testing of all the stuff that I will get out the next summer, and it will be like almost a BNF quad that you can buy that is pre-tuned, that will have the best shit ever. Because I done this kind of tuning, you know, before even Sbang came a thing. I was already like make tuning for this kind of style. We all called it like Radius by the time, but whatever. And I've always tried to be the more with the community before whatever before. And now as I made this thing for 8 years. I'm 34 now. I try to have a life. I try to work and live with it. So if you want to give any help, that would be super cool. But in the wait, there will be like a BNF quad with some more advanced tuning, more advanced shit that will come out, and I hope that you guys will support me. Also, please subscribe, share the video with your friend, make a comment, and give back the love, because it's free, my man, and it will just make you fly better. The end. My friend, I wish that my next video will be soon, and in the wait, love ya, bye.